Guys, look at what I can do with this new shirt that I got. Look, look, look. It's perfect for Halloween because look, I could be a headless horseman. This is perfect. Hi everyone, and welcome back to Big City B. I'm B for those of you who are just joining me for the first time. Today's book review is going to be All the Bad Apples by Moira Fowley-Doyle. The genre for this book is going to be YA magical realism with a sprinkling of historical fiction. There are some trigger warnings in this book, so make sure you check out the description down below. Alrighty, here's your summary. When Dina's wild and mysterious sister Mandy disappears, presumed dead, her family is heartbroken, and then the letters start arriving. Letters from Mandy, claiming that the family's blighted history is not just bad luck, but a curse that's been passed down through the generations. Now, Dina must find her. Your characters for this book. For track 1, we have Dina Rise, Mandy Rise, Rachel Rise, and Finn. For track 2, we have Ida, Kale, and Mr. Rise, or the father, but I forget if we ever hear his first name or not. Jumping into things that I liked about this book, number 1, of course, is the magical realism. As you all know, well, actually it's been a while since I talked about a fantasy book, but any type of magic, I'm here for it. Except in Bottle Grove, I did not like that magic. The second thing that I liked about this book was the influences of Celtic folklore in here. We get banshees. Very rarely do I ever see banshees in books, and I don't get enough Celtic folklore in my books, I'm sad to say, so I was happy to see it in this book. I think banshees are really interesting, and this book presented a duality in what we're told banshees are there to do versus what they're actually trying to do, which I thought was really interesting and a cool new way to think about banshees that I hadn't thought of before. The third thing that I liked about this book was the historical tidbits of the Magdalene laundries, which I had never heard of as an American, but learning about this happening in Ireland and just very strict Catholic societies was very disheartening, and it was grim, but also interesting. It just blows my mind that humans think that these punishments for sins is acceptable to do to another human. It just crazy to me. So I thought that was really interesting, and now I want to do some more research on the Magdalene laundries. The fourth thing that I liked about this book was the women in the book and their strength and struggles and how they find their own paths in life or how they deal with the life that they've been given. So over the course of the book, Dina finds these letters that Mandy has written to her that are outlining her family's past. So we get transported back into those times when a letter is started, and it's like a little historical bubble, and I thought it was really interesting to learn about Dina's family history and what those women went through during those time periods and what was considered to be a unpure or bad woman in those times, and how they dealt with those scarlet letters that were thrust upon them and how they decided to live the rest of their lives. Moving on to things that I didn't like about this book. The first thing that I didn't like about this book was that the ending was a little messy. It seemed like it tried to tie itself up too quickly, and I felt like we could have taken more time at the ending to really pull out each string and then see how they connected together, but it was just like Moira took all the information we'd been giving and was just like, and that's your ending. And it was just a messy ball of knots. I mean, it kind of made sense, but it took you some time to really kind of piece everything together. The second thing that I didn't particularly like was that I felt like we could have spent more time with Dina and her friends that go on this little letter hunting adventure with her, and really learned about them more. I don't feel like we learned enough about their relationships with each other because we spent so much time in the letters. And don't get me wrong, I love the time that we spent in the letters, but I do wish that we had developed and flourished Dina and her friends just a tad bit more. There was a romance aspect that wasn't really developed or gone into as much as I would have liked it to be, as well as her friendship with Finn and Ida, who I feel like that's a huge relationship that we should have, in general, I feel like all the relationships between Dina and her friend group could have been developed a little bit more. Let's go on to Goodreads takes to see what Goodreads didn't like about this book. Okay, so I have a lot of things that Goodreads didn't like, and I couldn't pick like the top 3 that I really want to share with you guys, so this is gonna be like lightning round Goodreads takes, so I'm just gonna say them all and I'm gonna try to keep my mouth shut. The first thing that Goodreads didn't like was that they felt that this book told too much instead of showing. I understand where this could be conceived, that it was telling instead of showing, because a lot of the book is through the letters that Mandy has written, but I felt like when we were in the letters, it wasn't telling us. I felt like the pictures within the letter scenes were very vivid for me, and I didn't feel like I was being told versus shown. The second thing that Goodreads didn't like was that this wasn't an actual ghost story. I don't know where they got this. I didn't see anywhere that this was a ghost story. Ooh, maybe they meant the Ghost of the Banshees. I don't know. It's what they didn't like. The third thing that Goodreads didn't like was they felt that the transitions between Dina's story and Mandy's letters was a little stilted. Okay, agreed here. I felt like it was a little jarring the way that the letter scene section started, because it was like, and Mandy wrote for everything, and just took a couple, for me it took a couple sentences to get into the letter scenes, but as a whole, this didn't detract from the book for me. The fourth thing that people didn't like was the magical realism. They didn't like the blurring of reality versus fiction. The fifth thing that Goodreads didn't like was that this was a tirade of misery when they just wanted escapism. From the summary of the book, this doesn't sound like it's gonna be a happy book, right? The sixth thing that Goodreads didn't like was they felt that the book moved too quickly. Yes, I felt like Moira was definitely rushing in some sections of the book, and I felt like could have taken her time. I always feel like with YA, they have to keep it under a certain amount of pages, and I'm just like, just take your time. If it's a good story, I'm invested. I'll read that extra 100, 200 pages. Just do it right. Let me live in the world. Don't rush it. The seventh thing that Goodreads didn't like was a big one for me. So this person thought that the unwanted pregnancies and illegal abortions was only a big important topic in Ireland. And if the author is thinking that women's oppression and feminism is only limited to that, then they lost their interest. And they felt that this was diminishing other oppressions such as POC oppressions. Why are we comparing one oppression with another oppression? It doesn't make any sense. Like, this is not a contest to see whose oppression and degradation as a human is worse than the other ones. What? And also, unwanted pregnancies and illegal abortions only being an important topic in Ireland? What? Like, this is such an important deal in America too. This is something that we're constantly fighting for, and if this Supreme Court justice is nominated, then we have a huge issue where Roe versus Wade could be overturned by the Supreme Court. So this is an active problem still. This is not a problem that just disappeared and is not an issue for women anymore. Okay. On to my quotes for this book. Quote number 1, "Some loves ignite like forest fires, burn down entire towns before anybody's noticed." The romantic in me is like, yes! I want to, but burning love, a passionate love that lasts lifetimes, because in this book, that's what it means. Quote number 2, "You won't see us in photographs, the history books, but the landscape remembers." This one also makes me feel good. Like, If no one remembers me, the land will still remember you. Your essence will still be there, will still be remembered. That's comforting. Quote number 3. There's great power in sharing stories, in connecting, in speaking truths. Yes! Yes, yes, yes! This is why I'm an actor, because I think it's important to tell other people's life stories, and that's what plays are. Plays are about people's lives and the situations that we deal with, and sometimes they're funny, and sometimes they're sad, and sometimes they suck, and sometimes they're really, really awesome. But they're stories that we actors are sharing with all of you. And that's what I love. And it's speaking someone's truth. Acting is speaking a truth. It is not faking it or pretending. It is taking your truth and putting it into the truth of your character and serving that truth up on a platter for everyone else. Lastly, would I recommend this book? Yes. I think that this book is a great YA book that not only explores the historical relevancies of women who are considered bad apples and how our society has either changed or not changed in viewing those women as bad apples, but also how a young girl comes to terms with her queerness and discovering that it's okay to be queer. I really enjoyed Moira's writing and her magical realism influences, and I want to read others of her books. I think it's the book of Lost and Found. I feel like that's wrong. I'm gonna put it on the screen. Also, I think her afterword of the Magdalene Laundries was also really interesting, and I enjoyed that she included that research. So that's all I have for you guys. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you want to check out my other videos when they come up. You're welcome for that impromptu song. Question for today's video is, what are your favorite aspects of Celtic folklore? Let me know down in the comments below. Alrighty guys, that's all I have for you. All the best always. Bye!